Every world-changing company, whether it's a household name or the next big thing brewing right in your city, started with the same two things: a brilliant idea and a massive problem. How in the world do you pay for it? Today, we're going to demystify the world of startup finance. Right. It all kicks off with that spark, that aha moment, an idea that just grabs you and won't let go, the one you're absolutely convinced could shake up an entire industry.
And then, bam, the reality check hits. A vision is one thing, but execution, that takes cash. And this, right here, is the first huge wall pretty much every founder runs into.
So, how do you actually bridge that gap between idea and reality? Well, that's what we're going to break down today. We'll walk through the 5 key stages of this journey, from scraping together your own savings all the way to landing a major investment. Okay, first up, the funding problem. Let's really get to the heart of why getting that very first check is just so incredibly difficult. I mean, just put yourself in a bank's shoes for a second. They love predictability. They want to see assets, a long history of making money, steady cash flow. A brand new startup has, well, none of that. It's all potential, which to a bank is just another word for risk. So they're really not in the business of funding moonshots. So if the front door of the bank is basically locked, where do you go? This is where entrepreneurs have to get really creative and resourceful. Welcome to the world of early stage funding. This is the purest way to start: bootstrapping. It's just a fancy word for using your own money, your savings, maybe your credit card, and any money the business itself starts to generate to fuel your growth. It's tough, for sure, but man, it forces a kind of discipline that is just invaluable. And this right here, this is probably the first massive decision a founder has to make. It's a classic trade-off. Do you want to own 100% of a company that might grow slowly, or are you willing to give up a piece of the ownership pie to grow much, much faster? There's no single right answer, but it's a choice you have to make. And this shows you the typical progression. You start with what's in your own wallet. Then you might turn to your inner circle, the friends and family who believe in you as much as the idea. From there, you could go out to the crowd. And you can even get creative with financing from your business partners, like your suppliers. But look, these early sources are great for getting off the ground, but they usually have a limit. To really build something big, to really scale, you're going to need to attract professional investors. And for that, you need the perfect pitch. This is it. This is your moment. A pitch presentation is your entire business, your vision, your team, your numbers, all distilled into one short, powerful, and convincing story. You've got maybe 20 minutes, sometimes less, to get someone to believe enough to write a really big check. Now, this isn't just a simple checklist. This is the very DNA of a fundable business. A truly great pitch hits every single one of these points, leaving an investor feeling excited and clear, not confused and with more questions. And here is a fantastic real-world example of what a great solution looks like. In the early days of e-commerce in India, Flipkart realized the problem wasn't just how do we sell things online. The real barrier was that most people didn't have or simply didn't trust using credit cards online. So their solution? Cash on delivery. It wasn't just a feature, it was the key that unlocked the entire Indian market. That's what solving a real problem looks like. Okay, so your pitch is polished and ready. Now, who are the people sitting on the other side of the table? Let's meet the 2 key types of professional investors you'll encounter: angels and VCs. Now, this table is absolutely critical to understand. Angel investors are playing with their own money. They're often successful entrepreneurs themselves, and they might invest just based on a gut feeling about you and your vision. Venture capitalists, on the other hand, are firms. They are investing other people's money. Their job isn't just to find a good company. It's to find a company that can deliver a massive financial return for their fund, which makes their whole process way more rigorous.
Yeah, getting money from a VC isn't a one-time thing. It's a whole process that happens in stages. A good way to think about it is like leveling up in a game. As your company proves itself and becomes less risky, you unlock the ability to access the next bigger round of investment.
And this timeline here shows that journey perfectly. You start with seed money just to prove the idea works. Then, as you hit your milestones, you unlock more funding for specific goals: building the product, scaling up manufacturing, expanding, and eventually even preparing to go public. And VCs, they don't just write checks blindly. They have a strict playbook. They find deals, screen them, and then comes the really intense part: due diligence. That's when they become detectives, verifying every single claim you've made. If you pass that, they structure a deal, they invest, and then they work with you actively, always keeping their eye on the final prize, the exit.
So, to bring this all together, here's the key takeaway. Funding is not just a transaction, it is a strategic partnership. The right investor at the right time brings you so much more than cash. They bring expertise, connections, and the validation you need to take that next giant leap.
Every single major entrepreneurial success story that you know has followed some version of this very journey. The real question is, now that you understand the map, what amazing story will be written next? Thanks for joining this explainer.